Okay, I'm going to get started by welcoming you guys. Welcome to Wat Tung. Nice to see you guys here. This is our Sunday evening meditation where each Sunday I get together with students, helping them with their meditation practice. I'm going to guide you in a breathing mindfulness meditation session today. This is the primary form of training that the Buddha used in addition to other teachings to be able to get his mind to enlightenment. And then afterwards, I'll just share a little bit of the teachings of the Buddha with you, but mainly open up for questions. That's what we do for these sessions. It's just a meditation and then see what questions you guys would like to ask, if any at all. So the way that I start meditation is I start with some chanting to be able to ease into the meditation. You guys are welcome to chant along if you like. We have chanting sheets over there on the cabinet. You can chant along because it actually helps to ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation itself. It's important to understand that this isn't a rite, ritual, ceremony, worship, or prayer, or anything like that. There's none of those kinds of things in the teachings of the Buddha. During the lifetime of the Buddha, he used chanting as a way to help his students commit the teachings to memory. Every 2 weeks, they would come together and they would recite his teachings orally. And this is how he used chanting as part of his teachings. But today we use it as a way to ease the mind into meditation and get more benefit out of the meditation itself. Once we're in the meditation, I'm going to be providing you some guidance where I'm essentially going to be teaching you and instructing you how to meditate while we're actually meditating. Then there's going to be a period of time of quietness where everybody's meditating. Anybody here at the temple and anyone who's joining online, we'll just all be meditating together at the same time. Then we'll come out of the meditation with some more chanting. And then that's where I'll just share a little bit of the teachings with you guys and then open up to any questions that you guys might have. So feel free to take whatever position you're comfortable with, either seated, lying, standing. There's even a walking position as well. Just feel comfortable to sit however you like. There's not just one fixed way to sit. And like I mentioned, you guys are welcome to join in the chanting if you like. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Mahakeva Wat Tung Mahakavanang Apivateyami Savakato Mahakavata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Mahakavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang Namami Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Iti piso Mahakava Arahang Samma Sambuddho Vicacaranang sammuno Sakato rokavitu Anutero purisa Dhamma sati satatawa manusrang Bhutto Bhagavati. Okay, with the lower body and hands and arms comfortable, and the upper body erect, just close the eyes and start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Here, you're just looking to establish the breath, a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath, not forced or controlled, just a gradual inhale through the nose, experiencing the full breath. And then, whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Your breath may not match up with the guidance that I'm providing, and that's okay. This is your practice. I'm just here for guidance. You can use this voice as a reminder that whenever you get to the next inhale, breathing gradually through the nose, developing a nice, natural, steady, consistent breath. And then, whenever you're ready, exhale out through the nose, experiencing the full breath. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the breath well established, start fixating the mind on the breath, either the sound of the breath coming into the nose or the sensation of air moving over the skin into the nose. The breath is the present moment. Fixate the mind on the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. With the mind fixated on the breath, whenever you notice that it moves off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. No need to observe the thought, label it, judge it, analyze it, or even try to figure out where it's coming from. Whenever you notice that the mind is moved off the breath, cut that off, let it go, and come back to the breath, the present moment. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. I'm going to be quiet now and let you do this work of focusing on the breath, cutting off and letting go anytime the mind moves off the breath. You have nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one needs you right now. This is your time to focus on the breath. Breathing in and out. Arahang Sama Sambuddho Emakewa Potang Mahakewanhang Apiwateyami Savakato Mahakewata Tammo Dhammang Namasami Supatipano Mahakewato Savakasangho Sanghang Namami Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Namo Arhasa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa Iti piso emakewa Arahang Sama Sambuddho Vicacaranang Sammuno Sakato Rokavitu Anutero Purisa Dhamma Sati Satatawa Manusrang Oto Bhagavati. Okay, if you guys would like to slowly make your way out of meditation. Once again, good evening to all of you guys. Nice to see everyone here. This is called Breathing Mindfulness Meditation. This is a primary form of training in addition to other things that the Buddha used in order to move his mind to this enlightened mental state. What enlightenment is, where the mind's completely peaceful, calm, serene, and content with joy. By the time you get to enlightenment, you no longer experience any discontent feelings. You won't experience any anger, sadness, frustration, irritation, annoyance, guilt, shame, fear, stress, anxiety, loneliness, boredom, shyness, resentment, jealousy. All of this can be eliminated from the mind by training the mind. By the time you get to enlightenment, you'll notice that your mind's focused. You'll have concentration, clarity, and deep memory because your mind will be performing optimally at that point. You've trained it really well to get to that point. You'll notice that your personal, professional relationships are really blossoming. Oftentimes in the unenlightened state, you'll have a certain amount of bitterness or harshness in your relationships, but by the time you get to enlightenment, you're not doing that anymore. You'll be able to be loving and kind and warm and gentle with all the people around you. You'll notice that your mind isn't even in a bad mood anymore, that it's physically impossible for you to experience a bad mood. So the Buddha used meditation to be able to train his mind to get to this point, but there's other things that he used too. You can't just meditate your way to enlightenment. One of the biggest myths about the life story of the Buddha is people think that the Buddha sat under a tree, he meditated, and then instantly got to enlightenment. And this isn't actually true. There's other things that you need in order to be able to train your mind to get to this mental state. But this meditation is important because what it's doing for you is it's helping you to build awareness of mind. This is called mindfulness, where you have awareness of your mind. It's helping you to build concentration and the ability to let go. Because in the unenlightened state, what's causing the mind to be angry and sad and frustrated and all those other discontent feelings is that the mind's holding on. It's craving permanence. It's wanting things to be a certain way. It's expecting things to be a certain way. And you can only be happy when the mind is experiencing what it wants or what it expects. And the mind's craving this permanence by the mind craving permanence, you actually live in an impermanent world. So it's impossible for your mind to experience permanence in terms of all these material objects. So for example, if you're in a relationship and you guys were together and you're really happy about that, your mind is experiencing conditioned happiness. Based on the condition that you have this relationship, you'll be happy. But when you guys break up and the relationship's over, you might be sad or angry or frustrated or lonely or bored or missing this person. This is the mind holding on and craving permanence while you live in an impermanent world. This relationship was always impermanent, but the mind craves for permanence. So oftentimes people think it's the outside world that's causing these feelings. The mind will think it's your mom and dad or your brothers and sisters or your boss or your coworkers, but it's actually what's going on within your own mind that's causing these feelings. So this meditation is helping you to be able to let go. Because if you notice with your mindfulness that the anger is arising, you can train your mind to let go. And now your mind won't experience anger and sadness and frustration. If you train your mind in meditation like this, and with all the other teachings that the Buddha shares on the Eightfold Path, if you train your mind with this consistently over a long-term period, you'll get to the point where anger will never arise, that it's physically impossible because you've eliminated the causes and conditions that are producing it. So I'm going to just stop here and see if you guys have any questions about anything that I shared or anything you guys would like to ask about the teachings of the Buddha. If you guys have questions, we have microphones there in the middle of the room. We have some up here as well. This way the people online will be able to hear you. And if you could get a microphone, you just press the gray button, you'll see the lights come on, and then you hold this up to your chin and we'll be able to hear you here at the temple, and they'll hear you online as well. And then for those of you guys online, you can put your questions into Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom in the comment section, or you can raise your hand in Zoom and ask any questions that you like. So are there any questions here? Anybody online would like to ask a question? No questions? Okay, let's see if we have anything online. Okay, I don't see anything online either. Okay, well, I'll just end class by thanking you guys. Thank you for your interest to understand the teachings of the Buddha and practice his teachings. If you guys would like to learn more, there's lots of opportunities for you guys to do that. On Sundays at 9 p.m., we have a class that is the same class that I taught this morning at 9 a.m. This evening, I'm going to be doing meditation, and then I'm going to be teaching eliminating fears. Are you really scared? Because by the time you get to enlightenment, you don't have any fear in your mind, and there's a way for you to eliminate this. So I'm going to be teaching this at 9 o'clock after we do our meditation. And then tomorrow I'm going to be starting a course. It's called Foundation and the Path to Enlightenment, where the entire week from 9 to 3, I'm going to be teaching all the foundational teachings that you need to really get on the path to enlightenment. So if you'd like to see information on this, you can see our bulletin board over there, or you can see our website. You can also come and talk to me and let me know. So whatever you choose to do today, have a very lovely and wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Sawadee krap. Sawadee krap. You guys have a question? Oh, okay. I didn't know you guys had a question. What's that? Yeah, you can. We're still live streaming. Normally I shut it off right after I say goodbye, but I can leave it on.
Hello. This question has come from Ellie, really. But is it okay to flush an insect down the toilet?
The Buddha's not teaching you about what's okay and what's not okay, because that would be like giving you rules and commandments. And the Buddha didn't teach with rules and commandments. Instead, what he's doing is he's teaching you how to uproot the pollution out of your mind. And there's those 10 individual pollutions that you learned in the class, right? It's the 10 fetters. So one of the things that's in the mind is called ill will. This is one of the fetters, where you have ill will towards other beings. And if you have the opposite of that, that would be called loving kindness, where you have a genuine interest in seeing all beings be well. So if you understand that you're interested in having loving kindness for all beings and not having ill will towards another being, you wouldn't flush an insect down the toilet. Like you wouldn't take it like off the floor and put it in the toilet and flush it, because that would be ill will towards that being. And if you have ill will towards that being, you're going to have ill will towards other beings too. And now when you put out ill will, it's going to come back to you. People are going to treat you in the same way. But if you can cultivate loving kindness in your mind, where you have a genuine interest in seeing all beings be well, and you start functioning through that, now more and more as you're being loving and kind with the people around you, you'll experience loving kindness coming back to you as well. So whether someone chooses to flush insect down the toilet or not, that's a choice for them to make. But if they would like to practice getting rid of ill will, they would practice, not doing that. Now, one thing I'll share with that is the teachings of the Buddha aren't black and white. So let's just say there's an insect in the toilet already, right? And you happen to flush the toilet. And now it's like, oh, there goes the insect down the toilet. Well, that was that insect's choice. The insect chose to go into that toilet. It chose to be there. And you just chose. You maybe didn't even know that it was there. Now you flushed it. So I'm not going to scoop an insect out of the toilet in order to put it outside. Instead, that insect is there, and now it's decided that it would like to be there. And now when I flush the toilet, I didn't even know it was there, and now it gets flushed away. So in that situation, there's no ill will towards it. And instead, what the Buddha teaches you is to not put expectations on other beings. Don't try to control and force other beings to do things a certain way. So in this case, the insect is choosing to be in the toilet, and now it chose to go down the toilet. And maybe this is an insect that can actually live in water. Who knows, right? But what you would like to do is have loving kindness for all beings. And for that, you're not interested in intentionally killing any beings unless there's caveats, right? Like, let's just say you're in your home and somebody breaks in at 2 a.m. in the morning and comes in through the window. And now they're sitting there trying to stab you with a knife. Well, you're not just going to sit there and be like, well, okay, you can go ahead and stab me. I don't mind. Right? That wouldn't be loving kindness for yourself, right? So the Buddha's teachings, they're not this, decision tree or plug and play. He's not giving you what's okay and what's not okay. He's teaching you to have loving kindness for all beings, and it wouldn't be loving and kind to just sit there and let someone stab you with a knife. So there's oftentimes the mind's looking for this black and white way of progressing through the world, but that would mean that there's a permanent decision for every single situation. And that's not the case because there's all these variables. So you need to look at all the variables and make sure you're not functioning through craving, anger, and ignorance. So if somebody breaks into your house and they're coming at you with craving, anger, and ignorance, you're maybe stopping this harm by you're maybe doing something to this being to stop that harm. But again, that's that being's karma. That's the results of that being's decisions, not the decisions that you're making. You were just choosing to sleep in your bed. So it's not black and white about these things, but the more you practice and the more you see how to navigate this natural law, you can see that as long as you're not functioning with ill will, it will produce wholesome results for you. So in that situation where someone's coming at you at 2 a.m. in the morning, you're not functioning through ill will. You're functioning through loving kindness for this being who you are. Same thing when you see that you're flushing the toilet and, oh my goodness, there's an insect in the toilet. There's no ill will there. So you're not actually functioning through ill will. But if you were to go outside and actively be looking for someone to kill, now you're functioning with ill will. Or if you took an insect off the floor and you put it into the toilet, this is functioning through ill will because you don't have this loving kindness for this being, where instead you'd be better to maybe relocate it outside and put it outside and then just let it go on its merry way. Mm-hmm. Does it make sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so I guess I'll just say goodbye again. Thank you guys. See you guys another day. All right, be well. Have a lovely rest of your day. Thank you again for watching. Enjoy your meditation. Look forward to seeing you online and answering any questions that you might have. Thank you so much.